Anybody who's trying to combat sustainability and support young designers, especially to a young consumer like myself, they get points for that because there's not that many people that do help support the next generation. So I do feel like with these older brands they kind of like go where the profit is, not where the culture is, if that makes sense. But for someone like myself as a creative, I'm like a culture first person.
You know, sometimes drip meets comfortability.
Hi, my name's Lily. I'm a student, podcaster and radio host from London.
My name is Freddie. I'm 22 years old and I'm a model and student from Berlin.
Hi, I'm Cam. I'm 22 and I'm a 306 degrees creative from Manchester.
Hi, I'm Bronnie. I'm 20 years old. I'm a fashion student, content creator and model from Glasgow. So I love fashion, obviously, fashion student. Love shopping, love art, love tattoos, love photography, love dancing. Anything self-expression, basically. Yeah, bit of everything.
I feel like as a creative, you kind of are in a few places at once. I like learn painting and graphic design first, and then channel that like into photography. So I like mainly identify as a photographer, but then obviously it stems into events and other things as well. People like Kanye and Virgil kind of like allowed space where you can be like multi-hyphenated as a creative, which is something that's kind of like pushed and promoted a lot more now. I do think it's also kind of something you need to do as a creator to be able to like sustain yourself. So that's like one point. So like doing like photography, like shoots might not come around enough, but if you do photo and video, there's going to be a lot more opportunities often. Especially as a graphic designer, like I can do my graphic design at the same time as doing my photography, and like they're not getting in the way of each other. I feel like there was a mentality growing up, especially like in like college era, when I was first like applying to go to university. It was like kind of like pick one thing. But I have been someone, like I say, from young that has like been creative across all mediums. So for me, like when I create something, I want to put it out in as many platforms as possible.
I have noticed, you know, doing certain things like within the creative industry and stuff and making the connections. It's more the connection that I make with the people I'm working with that's actually makes a job worthwhile and fulfilling more than actually the job itself. So yeah, like definitely community is really important to me, and I think like the fact that we have social media and stuff now as well for that, like just widens it up, and it's like a whole other kind of community, I guess, like it's supporting in different ways.
Definitely the vibe and like the music. Again, being like a music head. Like if I can go in and like they're playing a song I like I'm way more likely to continue walking around like and feel the vibe of the music. And then in terms of layout, a really easy layout. Like something that's really simple. Like I don't have to use too much of my brain to like get around a shop. Like shopping's supposed to be fun. I don't need to be in a maze.
High street stores mainly, and then the odd charity shop number. But yeah, I do shop online as well, bits and bobs, but mainly I like the in-store experience. Like I like going in, being able to pick something up, like get a feel for it, like actually catch the vibe of what the brand's actually trying to tell me, rather than it being online. I feel like you don't get the same connection that way.
Yeah, when I'm shopping online, the image that will capture me the most, I always watch the video. That's one thing that I do always watch, to see how like the clothes fall and move on the person. I think that also tends to come as a tall person as well. You want to make sure that when you lift up, your belly ain't showing.
So if I'm shopping in a store, I don't really care about the section. Like from time to time I will go into the women's section just to check out if there's something special. But usually I just enter the store and make a round, and then if I end up like seeing something that I like in the women's section, I don't really care.
I feel like the future of like fashion needs to be genderless. Like I think especially like in recent times, like we're noticing like there is a lot of like blurred boundaries now. Like I personally don't see an issue with like it just being open to wear what you want, like whether that's like a tank top for a guy, a woman, like why is it a guy or a woman? Like why is it not just a tank top that you buy and you like it?
Yeah, they've always been a store that I could say always had a presence. You always walk in there and they're diverse in the sense of the items that they sell. Like if you're looking for a present for someone, you can go grab a gift at the same time and buy clothes for yourself. So that is one thing that I have always liked about them. Like their diversity within the store, in the items that they sell. But then, like a few years ago, they kind of got done a bit from what I was saying before of like not stealing young designers' ideas, but in a way doing that. And like copying like the shapes of and silhouettes of clothing that these designers have like worked to create. So now they've started giving back and doing Urban Outfitters Marketplace, which is inclusive of them young designers. But yeah, I think being like slightly desensitized to the youth and the way the youth create and the way they are, that's kind of what's gotten them towards that place. But yeah, they are realizing and addressing that and fixing that as they go along. But when I do go in the store, like I say, it's one of them stores that the men's section is very small and at the back. It used to have a whole floor, but now Homes took over. So yeah, Urban Outfitters, you kind of got to go to the back of the women's floor at the bottom to shop now. So you kind of feel a little bit less like important to them. Maybe their female shoppers and the students buying stuff for the house a bit more important.
In terms of the vintage side, I love that section of Urban Outfitters. I think that is so great. And it kind of feels like you're in a thrift shop, which is why I like it in that bit. Yeah,
like I would say it's a good atmosphere as well. Like when you go in the store, like I just feel like you feel really comfortable. There's not like much judgment. I feel like it's kind of got a market for our generation in the sense that like just be you and it doesn't really matter like what you look like or kind of what your style is. Like I feel like you'll find something. But in the sense of like price range and stuff, I feel like that's maybe where there's maybe not something for everyone in that sense because it is obviously quite expensive. And I think the market that they're targeting at, like obviously students and like younger, I guess like the younger generation in general, like obviously we don't always have the same kind of money. We're normally students and don't. But I think if it's due to like the efforts of the brand, then you can kind of justify it.
I feel like they probably could show that they're doing more. Whether they are or not, I genuinely don't know because they're not showing me enough that they're doing enough for the environment. I can only assume from what I see.
I think to me, it's like to be from Berlin is Berlin is rough. Berlin is rough and Berlin is honest. So I think to connect with Berlin people, like real Berlin people, the brand got to stand out for something. Especially for Berlin, it should be like rougher, just like more raw.
Because they work with so many different brands, it would be cool to like see them bring in like a little brand that's like up and coming and like make that a really big, because I know so many little brands that would do so well in somewhere like Urban Outfitters because of their vibe.
As much as we want to see a big brand win, we also want to see like our friends win and people like that win. So if the big brands can be supporting in them or showing support or showing love in any way, shape or form, then that's another way that I do see big brands being more welcomed. When big brands show that they care and appreciate their consumer, that's what's like the most important thing.